So Nosferatu is coming, and it looks fantastic. Now, I know with Megalopolis, we're gonna have a big debate about the auteur and modern Hollywood. And listen, I am alarmed with Martin Scorsese that too many films are now being stuck in this whatever we're gonna call it, one model of fantasy, action, silly cinema, and that has its place. I mean, the MCU does occasionally do good work, but a lot of it is trash, right? It is. It is trash. Sometimes it's well made, but it's not that good. And this Nosferatu is like, wow, it is on a whole other level. Now, I'm not totally in love with Robert and all his work. I'm a little bit more skeptical. I found The Northman, frankly, kind of boring. So he is insanely talented, and he is the guy to do this. He has a very sure hand at dealing with horror and having a very serious, but also kind of this very mischievous tone. And this feels like it will be what it is, a very, very powerful look at horror and the vampire myth. My only one little concern here is it seems like he's mixing and matching. Like this is about Nosferatu, not Dracula, right? Not Dracula. The vampire myths are very complicated, and although I do love Buffy, I think people have the wrong idea. The vampire myth is not literally the guy sucking you with his teeth and yada yada yada, angel spike sex. That's a very partial look at the myth. So the only thing I'm worried about is it will lean a little bit too much into the Dracula category. And listen, I do love Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. It's one of my favorite films. It made me want to become a filmmaker, but that is a very silly fantasy version of the vampire myth. So I'm hoping it will keep the tone we see in the trailer to be mostly serious because we see the power of Nosferatu, and it is a lot. It is a lot. Apparently, he can control animals. This entire town is entirely terrorized, and it just looks very credible and very thrilling and exciting. And Willem Dafoe is on a roll. He was really great in Beetlejuice, but there he was more of a minor cameo. I was disappointed we didn't see more of him, but here it looks like he will be front and center. So I am very pumped for this. I would really love to see that there is a cameo by Anya Taylor-Joy because she was in one of the early Eggers films. So we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Still some issues here because, again, yes, it's great that we're going to see his point of view. But if you know Willem Dafoe, he technically already kind of did this movie a few years back. It was a very interesting film. Now, that was more of a comedy, but still, it was damn interesting. But now let me finish off with Megalopolis because although I will put out a few videos defending it, I have to be honest, I'm going to have to make a few videos very critical of it as I found it a very mixed bag. I'm not going to do a full review here, but I was very, very mixed on it. Now, with Nosferatu, I expect we will get a completely great film. So that brings up the question, should we support the auteur even if auteur puts out a bad film? I think Coppola did enough with Megalopolis. It does deserve to be supported. And unfortunately, Francis has a very ugly behind the scenes set of scandals. No nice way of putting it. And also, Megalopolis has its own scandals, though Francis's role there is, I think, a little bit more question mark. But yeah, it has all kinds of problems. So that said, I think the general gist is to support auteurs. I agree. But we should also be mindful of being critical. And with this film, I really want to give them my money because it looks like it looks great, sounds great, and it is going to be great. But Megalopolis feels more like a pity project, frankly. So I don't know how to feel about it. I would say I cannot say to you, I cannot recommend giving them your money. However, I do recommend giving it a chance because it is a strange film. Strange, but kind of mixed. This, though, looks like it will be a genuinely great cinematic experience. If you are a cinephile, you will be in for quite a ride. So I'm very hopeful Nosferatu will live up to the hype.